This is Nerd News Cafe. Stir it up with Matt, Landon, and Justin.
Get ready to stir it up. It is round 34. I hope you are hyped to the miped. I don't know what that means, but I think you should be there. This is Matt.
This is Justin.
And to borrow a phrase from the late, great Bobby the Brain Heenan, and I'm your host, Landon Doan.
Bobby, miss you.
Shout out to the Brain. Real quick off the top, I know this is not near fall radio, but I do want to mention the unfortunate passing of Bobby the Brain Heenan. The term greatest of all time gets thrown around a lot in this day and age. Bobby the Brain Heenan was the greatest of all time in everything he did when it came to professional wrestling, both a manager and a color commentator. And he was also a pretty accomplished in-ring performer as well. Not a lot of people knew that, but shout out and thoughts and prayers to the Heenan family. Bobby had been fighting a very aggressive form of throat cancer since 2000. So it's sad that he's gone, but the Brain is in a better place. And say hello to Gorilla for us, Bobby.
Yeah, you mentioned, great host, great personality, great manager, great in-ring talent. You didn't mention also quite a snappy dresser.
He was. I mean, the
True.
Brain could rock a monogrammed, bedazzled sports jacket like nobody's business.
Nobody, like none other.
Mm-hmm.
No, the things he wore, no one else can wear. I mean, that wardrobe at the Brain estate, they're going to have to retire that entire closet. It's like,
Oh,
look,
yeah.
just board it up, seal it off. It's done. No one can get in there.
I mean, he's such a snazzy dresser. He was able to pull off wearing a weasel costume twice and make it look good. So,
Absolutely.
shout
As
out
only
to
the Brain could.
We'll miss you, Bobby.
R.I.P., man.
Yep. Well, that's an unfortunate tone to start out a Thursday with, but it's definitely one we needed to step on because he has stepped out.
That's right.
So to move on to, we've got a big show, I think, pretty big,
Big show, but we're going to keep it tight.
a really
Really big show.
big show,
Really big show.
big show.
Everybody at home, do your admit or F.
No one knows who that is.
Yeah, right.
No. When there's 1% of the audience got that. I would imagine.
Sullivan.
So, without further ado, what do we have in those pages of glorious illustrations?
Oh, I think it's finally time to step back into Comic Book Corner. I don't know what that voice was, but every time I try to go heroic and then something weird comes out of my mouth.
That was kind of like the guy who always sees Superman take off and he has to say, "Oh, it's Superman!"
Up in the sky.
Yeah, you're that guy.
See, I thought you were more like the horse from Ren and Stimpy. No, sir, I didn't like it.
It was a little bit like that horse. It wasn't what I was going for, per se.
Horse protectors.
So today we're going to do something just a little bit different for Comic Book Corner. We're going to keep this one, like I said, nice and tight, but I do want to mention just a couple of things. So this week, as this is Thursday, I want to mention some things that you should run out and pick up before they are gone. Firstly, let us speak of Batman, because we should always speak of Batman.
Oh God, always.
Always. Batman.
Please bring him up. We haven't talked about him in 10 minutes.
I know. That was 10 minutes too long. So, Batman the Red Death #1 Metal. So, this is spinning off of the Metal series that, we had those pre-game issues, I'm going to call them. The four
Pre-game
Yeah.
issues. We're pre-gaming our Batman now?
We did.
I was going to say, it is called metal, and what do you do before you go to a metal show?
You got a pre-game.
You get in the parking lot, and you get loaded.
Absolutely. So,
I mean, I
have a point.
I think.
So now that
You
we're
remember?
now that we're 3 sheets to the wind on Batman, we had the Forge, we had the casting. Batman the Red Death #1, this is part of the Metal series, is coming out, and it looks like a good one. I would pick that one up for sure. In the DC land, I would also recommend picking up... So I also wanted to mention Wildstorm #7. This is a series that I've been following. I've been really enjoying. It's kind of a reboot, as I've said, of an old series, bringing it back, something they hadn't been doing for a while. And just me personally, I think it's really good. And if you haven't picked up the previous Wildstorms, you probably would be lost, honestly, because I know that's not a great sales job, but there's a lot of stuff going on in that comic that's it's kind of all over the place. But I definitely think it's worth a read if you can, get on the DC e-comics, maybe catch up on the old issues, however you need to do it. But Wildstorm's been very good. From Image, this is one that's been pretty popular, and I know that Richard down at Nirvana Comics Knoxville has been recommended to me for a while, and I just haven't gotten into the series myself. But Bitch Planet #4 comes out.
I actually have a friend who is really, really into Bitch Planet, so it's interesting that Richard has brought up this series as well. Apparently, it's a really good one.
Yeah, he's tried to direct me to that one for a while, and it's just like I try to tell him he's trying to get me kicked out of the house. I swear that's his goal. I don't know if
You should ask him, Richard. I just want you to know how much is a room here.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Are you looking for like a live-in, like assistant or something? Like I don't know what his goal is. Like to
An Igor. He needs an Igor.
yeah. Yes, master. Feed me more
He does have
comics,
that room
master.
to the side. See if you can rent that out.
Here you go.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has like some $1 comics that you could like make a bet of or something.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there was some freebies.
If he's making me sleep outside, yeah, that's possible.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hopping over to the Marvel world, Generations, Captain Marvel, and Miss Marvel #1 is coming out this week. I know, Landon, you're excited about that one.
Yes, I am. It's always fun when Kamala Khan and Carol Danvers can share not just a handful of panels together, but in this instance, an entire book together. I'm looking forward to picking that up.
Yeah, I was going to ask, are you going to actually go out and get the physical copy of that one, you think?
Yeah, I might have to go out and sell some plasma or something so I can afford these books. But if I can scrape together some pennies, we'll see if I can bring that home.
All right. You can just come stay with me over at Nirvana Comics Knoxville. If we lived there, we wouldn't actually have to buy the comics.
That's true. We could treat it just like our own personal public library.
Yeah, exactly.
I was about to say, do the libraries check out the books, or do they just stay there and read them?
No, probably unlike a public library, we would probably have to buy like a Mountain Dew Code Red like once or twice a day or something.
Yeah, a couple times a day. Get your Monster Energy.
Exactly.
Feed the monster.
Yeah, and if you get any codes, let me know.
Yeah,
I was going to say
we'll
we
get a
can
pack.
ship those codes over to Maddie over there
That's
because
right.
he's going to be the only one that has a house where he can play video games in.
Well, I mean, I don't know how long that'll last. I got 2 pallets of Pop-Tarts coming in for you. So,
I need them double XP. Them Bright Ingrams aren't going to earn themselves.
There you
that's
go.
right.
Here's a few more that I've been following. Jean Grey #7 is coming out this week. Monsters Unleashed #6 comes out this week. That's one I actually started on. I think, Landon, I really do think that series is right up your alley because you're the kaiju guy.
I do want to, speaking on that, it has started to show up on Marvel Unlimited. I think it's like issue 4, maybe 5 is up. So that is something that I am definitely going to go check out now that I have, more than just one issue to read.
Yeah,
so I am
it.
looking forward to diving headfirst into that.
Check out Kid Kaiju. Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man #4. I've really enjoyed that story, and again, that was kind of like an entry level for people who were interested in Spider-Man, especially with the new movie coming out. It's kind of like it's a little safe zone for maybe those people who didn't, because it is overwhelming. There's a lot of Spider-Man out there, and maybe if you just were, you're trying to jump in and you don't know where to jump in. Well, there's your diving board, my friends.
I think that's smart, especially with, you just made reference to Spider-Man Homecoming. Every time these comic book movies do come out, that does bring in an untapped audience into the comic book store. And you walk in there and you just see row upon row upon row of books. Hey, what are you looking for, man? I'm looking for Spider-Man. Oh, okay. Well, here are these 15 titles that are Spider-Man.
Yeah,
So
Ongoing.
Ongoing on top of that. So I do think it's smart of Marvel to designate, be like, this right here, Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, is your jumping on point.
Yeah.
I think it's smart.
Yeah, so I would say it's a good series, and it's not just a safe jumping on point. It's entertaining. I like what they're doing with it, so go check it out. X-Men Gold #12 is coming out. I've really been enjoying that. I like Blue a little better, but Gold's good too. And
What would you say? You love gold?
yeah. I like Gold, but Blue.
Sorry,
better.
wow. For some reason, I just felt really compelled to make a decade-old Austin Powers joke.
Yet again, another 1% of our audience.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're like, yeah.
We're joke snipers.
I've been waiting 100 episodes.
We are playing to literally the smallest fraction of our audience. So thank you, ladies and
Hey,
gentlemen.
you got to reach out to even the granulars to appease them sometimes.
Them downloads still count.
Well, actually, it gives people a reason to continue to listen because they're like, man, 63 episodes in on one show and 30,000 in on the other, and they finally made a joke that hit home with me. So listen, if we haven't done that for you yet, guys, just stick with us. We'll
Stay
get
tuned.
there.
I'm going to keep
It's
my
coming.
eye on those DVD sales of Goldmember just to see if we spiked
spike
it
it.
just a moment, just for a second. Just
let
to
me
see
go
how
ahead.
it felt.
Let me go ahead and tease. Coming up, we are going to be making a joke about insert your own personal favorite property, and you're going to love it. It's going to be great. So stay tuned.
And then it'll all be worth it, my
Yep.
friends. Venomverse number 3 came out, and this is after the Edge of Venomverse series. And then I just really wanted to mention quickly, in the Star Wars realm, they do have a series going on that's supposed to be kind of leading to The Last Jedi, and it's Phasma. It's Journey to the Last Jedi, Captain Phasma number 2 of 4 came out as well. So check it out.
I think that's kind of cool. So you say that is going to lead into The Last Jedi, this arc?
Exactly. So really,
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Again, just similar to the Spider-Man
Interesting.
situation, they're building on the anticipation of a blockbuster movie hitting the theaters, and this is kind of bridging the gap. You
The
know,
wet pants and clammy hands.
exactly. That describes me all day, every day.
Good
Oh,
God.
jeez. Your workplace has got to be a mess. Literally, wagga wagga.
Oh, God. Can we wrap this up? No.
But anyway, yeah. So really, just helping people kind of bridge the gap, whet the appetite a little bit for The Last Jedi. So and more Captain Phasma.
Hey, and as we spoke about on Sunday, that's one thing I think we can all get on board with.
Yeah, and a reason not to put her in the movies.
Right.
Well, I'm hoping that this
I'm
comic arc right here is our confirmation. Yes, we are going to get more Phasma, because I really doubt there's going to be just 4 issues of her in a garbage compactor.
Hey, you never know what you do with comics, man. I've seen stranger stuff.
That is true. I'm sure there's some writer artist combo that thinks it's very avant-garde or something.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that I think that the cartoon that they put in the Star Wars Holiday Special made people think that Boba Fett was going to have a really big part in The Empire Strikes Back, but not so much, my friends. He was riding a dinosaur in that cartoon.
That hurts.
Come on.
Because not only did you just shoot down what I said pretty factually too, good fine, you also had to bring up the Star Wars Christmas special.
Yeah, well, it's, that's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, it does.
Much to George Lucas's chagrin, because he tried
Like
to stop
herpes.
that.
He really did. He tried to destroy every copy. Sorry, the internet came along and said, not
You
so
know-
fast, my friend.
That was his troll email he accidentally sent, kind of thing. He was like, "Oh no, retract. It's already out there."
Oh,
Your
too-
email's
yeah, it's too late.
Reply all things.
Yep.
Yeah. When you try to do the recall on your email, but you're already getting read receipts. Yep, sorry.
It's like,
Recall failed.
Like, well, now I have to go around to each of these computers individually and delete them, because that's how the internet works, right?
just like Michael Scott in The Office after he got back from Jamaica.
Yep.
Pictures of Jan. Anyway, sorry. There's another joke that only part of our audience will enjoy.
I like that part of our audience.
Yeah, it's a good part. All right. So I did say before we got into this that I'm ready to start talking a little Fast and Furious again. But understanding today we're on a limited schedule, here's what I want to say. Next week, come back, because it will be time to hit the road again with Dom and all of your favorite, all the family, the whole family, all in the family, because we're going to talk about Fast 5 next week. Come back.
Wait, I
for
thought
it.
we were talking about All in the Family.
No, well, I mean, isn't Fast and Furious kind of like expansion on that universe? I think it is.
I had
Yeah.
no idea that was a spinoff. Wow.
It's about family. I can't. There was one day where there was one day
That was not it either.
where I had nailed Vin Diesel. And now, well, that sounded bad too.
Mine sounded bad.
Let
Mine
me
sounded like he's got a cold.
let me try this. Let me try this one more time. I am Groot. There, nailed Vin Diesel. All right.
Nailed it.
Nailed
Hi, Ben.
I am Groot.
Yeah, baby Groot. There you go. I was going more of like an adolescent Groot with mine. All right, let's get to hot and steamy. Streamy.
Wow. It is hot and steamy because it is hot and steamy because I'm bringing you the dulcet tones of Landon Doan right into your earballs. Because unlike in previous weeks when I decided to call for a Peter Frampton top box effect for hot and streamy, I'm going to ask for you, Jay, to find me a Barry White. Just kind of put underneath this.
What if I just do it live?
Ooh, hot and streamy.
Okay, that's not what I was going for, but we'll go with it. Since we are pressed with time, yes, in this week's Hot and Streamy, we have made reference in the past that my personal time has been eaten up by Bungie's latest, I guess, epic masterpiece, Destiny 2, dropped a few weeks ago. And really good on Bungie. They have continued to support it. It's been out for 2 weeks now. They've continued to put new stuff in once the game went live. They slowly rolled stuff out so they don't crash the servers or overload the servers, which, knock on wood, I have yet to run into any like server full queue things like you would run into any other MMOs, because this is an MMO. It's a first-person MMO that would have during these launches. But the big news coming out of Destiny 2 is they launched their first raid. It's the Leviathan, and I believe a clan took it down in around 6 to 8 hours after it went live, which is kind of an improvement because the first raid in Destiny, it took a clan 10 hours to down it for the world first. So I guess there's somewhat of an improvement time-wise when it comes to Destiny 2. But I do think it's cool. Bungie had their team, they pulled them together in like a conference room, and they were streaming this clan's attempt to try and take down the Leviathan. And they had it on a big, massive screen. All the Bungie employees were there, and they were cheering on like they were watching like a Tennessee football game. If you were a fan, before Florida this past Saturday. And it was really cool because you can tell, even though Bungie, this is what they do for a living, they make these things, they're still fanboys like you and I, and they were like jumping up and down and screaming as these gamers took down the very first raid that has come in Destiny 2. Like I said, it's called the Leviathan. I have not had a chance to personally run it because if you haven't done any of the raids in Destiny in the past, there is a little bit of strategy, and I'm still trying to go through the strategy guide so when my clan does finally, find the people and the time to get through and try this, it's not going to be, just, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm going to hold the other 5 people back. And the reason I say I'm still reading up on the strategy, and this is a fun caveat, which is different from the previous raids in the first Destiny, each week when they reset the raids on Tuesday, by the way, there's a fresh reset on everything Destiny on Tuesday, so all your like weekly stuff gets reset on Tuesday. All your Crucible, which is your PvP, gets reset on Tuesday, and so does the raid. Every week, the raid is not going to play out in the exact same order. So I think that's cool. It's kind of, it's, at least to me, just based on hearing that right there, it almost sounds like it's, it can be a little bit of like, okay, well, you fought, Bling Blong the Destroyer week 1. Well, next week you jump in and here comes Flip Brip the butt face, and he's up first. And Bling Blong the Destroyer is the second to last boss before you get to Waxus Megaxus.
There are some really interesting bosses in this game.
There really are. You got to give it to Bungie. I especially like Waxus McFraxus. But
and I think his name changed.
Exactly. Much like the raid, every week the name changes. So, but I'm super excited about that. Like I said, looking forward to getting into it. Me and Destiny's raids have had kind of a love-hate relationship in the past, so I'm hoping it goes a little bit better for me this time. But I am excited to get into it, see some of the raid-exclusive gear you can get. The girlfriend says there are raid-exclusive shaders, which, if you remember our previous conversation about Destiny, is how you like personalize and color all of your all your gear and stuff like that. Yep. So stuff that you don't really get in the raids in addition to the gear. I think that's cool. So Check out Destiny 2. The more I play it, the more I like it. And if you heard our previous conversations, I really liked it when I first got it. So thumbs up. And real quick, on the way out the door, I know I normally do what's coming, and in this case, what's leaving Netflix streaming at the top of the month. But this is kind of like an emergency one of these. One of my favorite shows of all time, and in my opinion, one of the best comedies ever, is getting ready to leave Netflix at the end of September. If you have not watched NBC's 30 Rock, you are on the clock, because 30 Rock is being pulled off of Netflix at the end of September. So stop listening to this show now. We already got your download. We appreciate it. What the hell is going on back there?
Yeah, what is that?
Is that you going to Netflix to watch all 7 seasons of 30 Rock right now?
It was like you started getting some interference right when you were telling people to stop listening to the show. So I think it's a sign. Quit that. Stop running our listeners off.
Or was that our listeners already running off to go watch?
It was all. They were all pressing stop at the same time. And I agree, that's a great show. But just finish this up. We'll be done in a minute. Then you can go listen to 30 or watch. It's actually a visual medium. You can actually watch. You don't have to just listen. It's not a podcast.
You can listen if you want.
You could. It's more fun to watch. I have actually
listened to 30 Rock, but then again, I've seen that show so many times I can just put it on in the background and I know what's going on. But yeah, that is my abbreviated hot and streamy.
Hot and streamy. So, Destiny 2, you were talking about the raid changing. Is that going to be like a feature of their raids? Like they're going to kind of alternate the order, or I mean, maybe we don't know yet, but it just sounds. I think it's cool because it sounds like it's just offering up some more replayability and also
and variety.
Variety, and when you're trying to like get a raid down, just when you think you've got it,
yeah, I mean that is an interesting element to it, because I made reference. I'm going to read up on the strategy guide, but like you said, just when you think you got the strategy down, when you think it's going to zig, it zags, and it takes you by surprise. Now, I don't know the extent of how they're going to change up the raid each week, because, like I said, I personally haven't been able to get into it, and this is only the second week. We're recording this on a Tuesday. The raid went live a week ago, so this is now the second week it's been live. So I'm curious to see just how much variety it's going to have compared week to week. But even if it's just a little bit of variety, I think that's cool, because it adds a new wrinkle to a game that, I mean, it's like we've all put in hundreds of hours into Destiny, and it's like we all enjoyed it. But even after, as much as we enjoyed it, there does come a point it's like, okay, I can run this strike again for the 10,000th time, or I can do this crucible for the 5,000th time, and nothing really ever changes. Where when you go into at least the Leviathan raid, there's going to be something different or some variance on what you're used to. So I think that's cool.
It is cool. Awesome. All right.
I guess it's cool.
Yeah, you wouldn't know because you hate everything fun, or you're just butthurt over your terrible choice in consoles.
Negative on both. I think Bungie's butthurt over the console they left.
I saw their video. Bungie does not look butthurt at all. And if they do look butthurt, they are looking butthurt all the way to the bank.
To the bank.
Beating your Pop-Tarts.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You can make fun of them for the Pop-Tarts tie-in, but Bungie is going full-on Scrooge McDuck, just diving headfirst into their money pit. By the way, happy 30th birthday to DuckTales. It was yesterday.
30th?
The day we're recording. Yeah, 30th.
That's great. I can't believe it's 30 years old.
I know, right? How cool is that?
Wow.
Like, Scrooge McDuck is one of those characters that, when you really look into his history, he's almost timeless.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Like 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
Thousands of years ago, there was this duck that had a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's why he knows where all the gold is.
That might, that explains a lot.
So you're telling me that they're probably going to, at some point, tell us they've discovered some cave scrawlings, and it looks like there's a giant money pit with some kind of weird duck swimming in it.
Scottish duck.
Mm-hmm. I feel safe to confirm that what you just said.
That's going to be true. All right. Very good. Yep. Good enough.
Wasn't that in Prometheus?
Yes, absolutely. No, actually, that would have made Prometheus a little bit better.
I like Prometheus. Some of it. There's some of it was like, okay.
Oh, there was definitely a lot of that. I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
My favorite part of Prometheus was the credits.
Bazinga!
Yeah, you're not an alien guy. That's fine though.
All right, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, if we're talking space, been watching the new Orville. Have you guys caught this?
I haven't seen
Have
it yet.
not.
No.
I mean, it looks very cool. It looks very, Galaxy Questy, and I'm all for Galaxy Quest stuff. So looks cool.
Let me bring you in a little bit. So I've watched 2 episodes. Of course, that's all they put out. It's got a good cast. Of course, McFarlane's not going to let that not be a good cast.
As long as he is starring in it, he will not let it be a bad.
Exactly. And I will say, it's he's done the Family Guy thing. He's done a couple movies. He's really been involved in a lot of things comedy wise, and his voice is iconic with a lot of characters. But I will say this show, I like the show. They did a really good job of like showing, kind of like the spaceships and how the society works that he's in. It's very Star Trek. I will say that it seems more Star Trek than it does Galaxy Quest to me, because there's a lot of order, there's a lot of command lines, and you can't do this, and the past 2 stories have been kind of like something you would have saw. Something you brought up, Landon, pre-show was it was kind of a Next Generation feel to it. You heard?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that online.
So their stories are a lot of Next Generation episode type deals. The thing about it though is it's a cool show. I'm not gonna lie, but it is weird to see McFarlane try to play serious. He's got some zingers every time every chance in the story there, but he has to play it straight. He has to play a little Picard, a little Riker sometimes. It's really strange to me, and I mean, it's not too off-putting for me not to watch it. I do like it. They did the past 2 episodes. The first one was kind of it was okay. This last one was a little bit better. I will say the only con to the whole show is I don't know if they really bleed into a hokey type deal that Galaxy Quest did, because their stories feel like they want to be hokey, but at the same time, they don't want to be. It's like they're on the tip of seriousness, but they step away from it as quickly as they can. And then the other part is their audio is crazy to me. Everything sounds, every time they're in the ship, every time they're somewhere, it sounds like they're walking on wood floors. And I mean, like they'll smack a part of the ship and it sounds like wood. And I don't know, it's crazy to me. It sounds like a soundstage. So I don't know, of course that's where they are, but I don't know if that's what they're shooting for, because obviously they have the budget not to do that. I don't know. And I think what it is, I watched the second episode a couple times because it's real apparent in there. I think what it is that Star Trek and a lot of your other sci-fi shows, I think all the ones that I looked at did, they've got background noise, like ship noises, humming of engines,
computer whirling in the background or something.
Yeah, no background noise that keeps your attention away from such sounds as he just smacked a bulkhead and it sounded like he hit a 2x4. I mean, it just so I don't know, man. It's a really cool show. If you guys are really looking for something not Star Trek but the same type of feel with kind of like a Family Guy joke set in it, that's what it is. I mean, I like it, and I feel like they'll get better with it, but it is, I don't know, it's kind of weird to me. I'd love for you guys to give it a chance to see what you thought about it, because I don't know what to think about it at this point.
So would you say it's not really supposed to be like a spoof of a sci-fi series so much as just a comedy sci-fi series?
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for. I think that definitely, because they're not really trying to dig on anybody. They definitely have some things in there that they have characters in there that are very taking from different parts of Star Trek. I did see, and this is exciting, supposedly the rumor is, or maybe it was on Twitter, is that they are going to try to have Star Trek captains or Star Trek actors and actresses on the show.
I saw that. Yeah.
So I'm
that's
kind of
pretty
excited
interesting.
about that. Yeah, if they get some P Stew on there, or some Joe Franks, or
Good
you know, I can think of some other ones. Some little Brent Spinsky on there.
Some Wilhua.
I can almost guess he would go on there.
Yeah, it really does feel like if anybody's going to show
Yeah.
up, it really does feel like it's going to be Will Wheaton.
100%.
Oh, yeah, I would love to see Will Wheaton on there, and I think
Absolutely.
that he can do comedy so well. He's really embraced his fandom through Star Trek and beyond.
Star Trek
if I
Beyond?
can use that pun. He was, but one of the Chris's were. So, you know, I'm excited to see if they get some cool people in there from Star Trek and what they do with them. There is a little bit of mystery in this. There's some confrontations in there, and one of the biggest aspects, and they're really harking on it, but it's only been 2 episodes. So McFarlane's character is the captain of the ship, right? His first officer is his ex-wife. And
okay.
I'll tell you why it's his ex-wife, because she was some infidelity with an alien in their apartment when he came home from work one day, and it's been a year since their divorce, and then she ends up being his first officer.
Oh, boy.
So it's pretty funny because they kind of go back and forth about like her wrongdoings, and then she goes back and forth of why that happened, and it's entertaining.
I'm sure hilariousness abounds.
That's right.
Yeah.
It
It's-
ensues for sure. So I was trying to think it while we were talking about it. I was like, so it's like a sitcom. It's a space com.
Spacecom or a sitfi.
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 I really feel like they would prefer us to use the first one, not sitcom or sitfi or whatever.
I like Sitfi. I like that. That's pretty good.
I'm here for it, guys.
Yeah. Matt's got
So-
all the catchphrases.
Yeah, because most of the time what I say is garbage. So I mean, it might as well be a catchphrase. So
Well, I'm going to check it out. I hate that I
Yeah, I
haven't.
do-
that's
gotten to
about all
see
I
it
got on the
yet,
Orville.
but,
I think you guys should give it. Definitely should see it. There's some really interesting characters that right off the bat are goofy as all get out. And I will say there's some I guess McFarlane Stewie that he already has his Brian character in there, so it's pretty entertaining. I'll let you discern who that is.
Seth MacFarlane. He's going to follow his formula, whether he's in a new Quahog, whether he's a Republican family dad. I guess he's going to do it in space too.
Yeah, I mean, he does what works, and I will say, but I want to say in his defense, it is not the Family Guy. It is not American Dad. It's not all those things you've seen him in or heard him in. This is, I mean, they're really trying hard to be a sci-fi show. It just, you can't stray away from what he's good at.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, it obviously works for him.
I got a question. Are there songs in this show? Any,
Thank God there are no songs.
no singing or dancing?
Sinatra Jr. is going to show up in space.
Well, it's crazy because everything he does has music to it. Like, I mean, he loves to sing, and I'm surprised like there hasn't like the Ted movies. I'm surprised those haven't been like half musicals.
True. Well, there's no Wahlberg in this, so
Yeah, that's true.
sick, bro.
There should
Got
be a
ship?
Wahlberg. Wahlberg needs to make an appearance.
I don't want a Wahlberg. I want the guy from Doug Loves Movies to come in there and be
Oh
Wahlberg.
yeah, the fake Wahlberg.
I want fake Wahlberg. I don't want real Wahlberg.
It'd just be cool if Doug Benson showed up.
That would be cool.
Absolutely.
I could see
He's on
him
the
making an
Smoke
appearance
Planet.
on there. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll come from the
Hey,
planet Marijuana.
I will say though, they do reference some weedage in this show.
Okay. Maybe they're just suggesting like this.
No.
It would be good to.
She replicates a weed brownie. I'm just going to say that, but I don't want you to try to guess and try to. I'm just going to tell you.
I was just going to say maybe it's a subtle suggestion that you should maybe enjoy something like that while you're watching the show. I don't know.
Exactly,
absolutely.
yeah.
I think it's a show enhancer. Definitely, if you're into that, show enhancer.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where it's like, yeah, you can go see it in theaters, but if you really want to experience, wait till it comes out on DVD.
Yeah, there you go.
like Pineapple Express or something.
Oh yeah, then binge watch it while you're binging. I don't know how that works, but
While you binge your drugs, is that how you do drugs?
Binging.
sure, that's how I do drugs. What,
Yeah, just
are
pull
you
them out of
supposed
your big burlap sack that says drugs on it.
I thought recreational's for like freaking novices, man, noobs. You get that bag and you just throw it all down the gut.
All right. Well,
Don't do drugs, kids.
I would like to, go ahead and say that we do not encourage binging on the drugs.
The drugs.
The drugs. Now it's the drugs.
Yep,
Thanks, Dad.
I do my best.
Ah, well, he's consistent.
He is. So please get me out of this abyssal hole. What is the poll?
Oh, so last week we had a no shirt shout out, and it was all based on these fun tie-ins that we've been joking about even tonight, such as the Pop-Tarts and the Monster Energy drink. Well,
Cheetos and Earthworm Jim.
unfortunately, on the Twitter, and you'll have to tell me if we got something out on the Facebook because I didn't see it, but and no one, by the way, shame on you all for not signing up for the forums yet and interacting there. Get out there and do it. You
What are
just
you doing?
you're letting me down, seriously.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, I responded to the no shirt shout out. Landon, you also responded to the no shirt shout out, and then only
I did not.
Andrew. Yeah.
So I win, or me or Andrew wins.
How come I
What
don't
do I
get to
win?
win?
Dad, because you're Dad. Dad never wins.
Dad never wins.
It's so true. No, I think
all
that
facets.
I think in this case it means Andrew's going to be the winner. But
I'm gonna check the Facebook just in case.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
didn't-
straight up
didn't
tell you
check.
that I can almost promise you that we have no comments about that.
so I don't
I
know.
can confirm.
I actually thought this was a really fun topic, and I'm surprised we didn't get a little more interaction on it. But thanks, Andrew, because you're a guy we can
Yes.
rely on, and you definitely responded. So he said in his response on Twitter at nerd_news_cafe, he said, "Gonna expand and say if your product is sold at a theater, offer cashback/reward point type system off tickets or related products." Either way, they need to do a better job than what Monster Energy and Assassin's Creed did. So he didn't really
no.
suggest a new tie-in. I'm going to say nobody
Because-
wins. Nobody wins.
Because you're,
Nobody wins.
I suggested whiskey. Whiskey always wins.
Whiskey.
you can win, but you don't get to
Whiskey
win.
Tango
You're
Foxtrot
ineligible.
Well, fine. I'm going to keep my own digital comic, and I'm going to give it to myself. So suck it. Even though I wasn't going to give one away today.
Truly all is punished today. All.
We throw ourselves on the mercy of the court.
You know what, guys? Let's just say that nobody was into that. Everybody's
guess.
enjoying their cherry Coke while they play Battlefield 1. I mean, I don't know what they're doing, so maybe they just weren't into it.
I guess. So we'll try better next time. For today, I was going to suggest we didn't really pre-discuss a poll or a shout-out, and I know we're a little bit over time. So
We said one last week, or on Tuesday.
What did we say? I don't remember.
Yeah, because we told it we were holding it over. Your fantasy cast for
For Nightwing.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we could do that one. That's fine. Yeah, so we did suggest on Tuesday to do the fantasy cast of the upcoming ass-kicking Nightwing movie. Have you
That's
guys?
all he does.
Yeah, that's all. The whole movie's it'll be like Kick-Ass. We've already had that movie. So, have you guys had a chance to think about that? Do you have suggestions? Because I've got one.
Well, if you got one, go ahead. That might give me a second
Oh,
to
sweet!
kind of.
I love this. I wanted to go first because I was worried one of you guys would take it. I think it's a no-brainer. It should be Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
See, I started to go that
Yeah.
way. But,
Well, that was the setup of the last Batman.
it
Exactly.
Was, and
That's why I think it's perfect. Build from the Nolan universe and roll.
JGL.
And that was a dark, gritty, people getting their butts kicked all the time. And Batman got his back broken. So roll right on in and let Joseph Gordon-Levitt take us home.
Take us home.
Yeah. and I'd be
I
into
guess
it.
it wouldn't be a bad casting. I mean, that's. I mean, Matt just said that's where his mind went. That's where my mind went. Let's try and think like off the
Ratcliffe.
path.
That's my jokey one. I would love to see Harry Potter as Nightwing.
Or better yet, Ben Affleck. He can play Nightwing.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because he clearly doesn't
CGI.
want Batman anymore.
No.
No. We'll Kurt Russell him like they did in Guardians 2, and we'll make him look young. It'll be a young Affleck. It'll be like Goodwill Hunting Affleck.
Guys, exactly. Well, you just went the direction I wanted you to go, because if we've got Ben Affleck as Batman, shouldn't Matt Damon be Nightwing?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Applesauce.
Applesauce. Here I come. Look at my shuck sticks.
What about one of the dudes from Supernatural? Either Sam
Well,
or
yeah.
Dean.
It'd have to be Eccles, because Padalecki is gigantic.
He said he wanted to do it, though. He said he
Well,
threw
of
his
course
name
he
out
did.
there.
Wait, which
He only
one?
has certain roles.
Padalecki.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
All right.
Eccles is he's done tons of stuff. Like he's full up.
Yeah. He said this was something we talked about. It was like months ago,
Got
but he came out and said that he would love to be Nightwing. So yeah,
Got it.
he'd be a big dude. Oh, Matt's got it. What is it?
Tom Welling crossover. What's up? What? He was in was it the one with Steve Martin? The Dozen movie.
Oh, Cheaper by the Dozen?
Yeah, he's Cheaper by the Dozen crossover. What were you guys thinking?
Of moving on? Is that an option?
Oh,
Snap.
ow. No, Padalecki. I mean, he's a cool guy. I mean, Supernatural is successful. I like Supernatural. I've watched it from the beginning. He's just so big. I mean, he would be the tallest Nightwing ever.
But I mean, like in the comic books, Dick Grayson is not exactly a small guy.
I always think of I don't know why I think of like Robin and like Dick Grayson especially, and like Nightwing as a guy like at most 5'10". And I think it's because of all the acrobatics and stuff like that. I just feel like those guys are a little bit smaller.
Well, they do always kind of portray Robin as being like a smaller dude. Batman's like
Yeah.
a big imposing dude, and then Robin's a little bit smaller. I mean,
Hey,
But he ain't Robin. He's Nightwing.
yeah, I know.
guys, we're missing Mark.
And I mean, like,
Mark?
spoiler alert for the Batman R.I.P. storyline that came out. Jeez, I can't believe it's been 5-6 years at this point. But like when Bruce Wayne went missing, who picked up the Batman mantle? It was Dick Grayson. It was Nightwing. So yeah, y'all might think he's some like little 5'1" midget flipping around like he's Wolverine without claws, but Dick Grayson can stand eye to eye, toe to toe, literally with Bruce Wayne.
I'm not like trying to down him or anything. I'm just in my mind. I just feel like a
we
guy
touched
that,
a
like,
we touched a
you know,
sore spot there, I think.
I know he was like, he is not short. It's okay.
Speaking up for the little
Easy.
guy. Hey,
Damn
Yeah.
right
I don't know if you
I'll
guys
play
can.
Bruce a lot and
I am
take
the voice
easy,
of the little
man.
person.
I don't know if you guys can see my screen right now, but I feel
Oh,
like
I see it, and it makes me happy. I said it.
I really feel like
Ugh.
I think we ought to throw Chris O'Donnell's name out there.
If you get real picky, you're going to end up with an Orlando Bloom. I promise you.
No, I veto that one. I'm not down
I'm
with
not
that.
saying I'm not saying that's what you want. I'm saying that's what you're going to end up with,
Yeah.
budget wise and schedule wise, because God knows there ain't no more Legolas to do. Pirates are
Oh,
wrapped
don't
up.
say that out loud. That really sounds like a challenge to Peter Jackson. He will find like an appendage and stretch it out into 7 movies.
I'm okay with that. I was okay
I'm
with
not.
I like The Hobbit. It
I,
was cool.
I like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but then I see The Hobbit. I'm like, oh God, there is so much more of this.
Did you read the book?
No,
The book. I mean, all 3 movies follows the book. But here's the thing.
it shouldn't have been 3 movies.
Let me lift the kilt here for you. Part of that book, literally every time something like action wise happens, Bilbo's unconscious. There is no describing any scene of anything. He's like, and then bump on the head. He wakes up and everything's over. So literally, it's an open movie. He can do whatever he wants to.
You know, if they wanted to,
Okay, that's fine, but don't make it 7 damn movies.
I like it. I mean, it's 3 movies.
They felt like 7.
Well, I mean, I would like another movie about the Shire. Come on, guys. Say you do.
Take us back to the Shire.
Yeah,
Um,
because that's what everybody needs, more Hobbit raps.
Nah, it's cool.
Let's get all the elf raps that Peter Jackson cut from the first movie. That's what we need in them.
Justin, are you serious about this image you've got up?
Well, I want and I know that this
No.
is going to get some
No.
criticism, but
yes.
but I'm just throwing Michael Cera's name out there, and and listen, wait, before you sigh and before you give me a come on, man, did you guys watch Scott Pilgrim? Because he can handle some action.
He can handle action, but I mean, like, even in Scott Pilgrim, he was kind of still playing that Michael Cera character,
Well,
which
yeah, he'd be like a nerdy
if you
dude.
first discovered him as George Michael on Arrested Development, it's like, oh, that's fun. But then you see him in pretty much everything else he's done. He's like, oh, okay, well, he's just hitting these same notes over and over again.
But can I just
Which,
point
by
out?
the way, season 5 of Arrested Development is being shot right now. So.
but can't I just point out that he did voice Robin in the Lego Batman movie?
Okay, well,
Right.
on the same coin, Joe DiMaggio voiced the Joker in one movie. Do we want Baker to be the Joker now?
If we could
Which,
perform
by
that-
the way, John DiMaggio killed it as the Joker in the Red Hood.
Okay,
so go
I'm
check
glad you corrected
mean-
that because I'm pretty sure you said Joe DiMaggio
Joe
the first time.
DiMaggio. Yeah, I heard that too.
And I was going to say, if we can perform a seance and get Joe DiMaggio back, then let's do
He'd be
it.
like, Marilyn, where's Marilyn?
We'll bring back Mickey Mantle to be Batman.
Okay,
Oh, God.
let's lock in our votes. So I'm going Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Who have you got, Matt? Who's your serious option?
I'm gonna. Who's my serious?
Yeah,
I'm gonna say Jensen Ackles.
Jensen Ackles. Okay, Landon.
And I'll say Jared Padalecki. Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're supernatural team over here.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, we are Team Winchester over here.
I'm kind of
Get the
cool with
car,
both
man.
of them. Yeah. Oh my God, you don't
God,
even
that
know what I
car,
would do for that
oh.
car. Oh, every time they started, it's
Oh,
like,
put it-
hello, I need a bathroom break.
Put it back in your pants. Come on, man. I'll give you a come on, man, for that one.
Clammy hands, wet pants, right here with that car.
Good God.
So, hashtag no pants poll on Thursday. We'll put your options out there. You can go out and vote. If you do that, you're a follower of us, and you retweet the poll. You could be a winner. It's so easy. Even your mama's doing it.
Easy. Absolutely. She said yesterday, I'm getting on them forums.
Yeah. Well,
My mom.
your
My mom's real stern and mean.
Your mom is-
Skin.
your mama is so stern and mean. I don't have an ending to that. Anyway,
She
Matt.
w- Nah, I don't want to go there. Never
Okay.
mind. It was bad.
She is a listener, by the way. Shout out to Matt's mom.
hi, Matt's
Sorry,
mom. So
Sorry.
we've covered the Twitter at nerd_news_cafe. Where else can they find us, Matt?
Well, they can find us on the forums at nerdnewscafe.com.
Yep.
They can find us on Facebook at Nerd News Cafe.
Yep.
That's super easy. And let me tell you something. If you don't like our choices on Twitter, if you don't care for what we have put up there, guess what? You can hit them forums. You can hit that Twitter. You can hit that Facebook page, and you can tell us what you would rather have. It's super easy, and we'll accept that. But you must tweet, and you must retweet, and you must follow. That is the only way you're going to get that comic. Because we'll accept those other answers. That's fine. You don't have to vote in the poll. If you don't like the options, we hope that you do vote. But you can always do it another way. And let me tell you, if you have a 7-page Peter Jackson report on why you think Orlando Bloom should be Nightwing, you can hit us up at nerdnewscafe@gmail.com. We will gladly delete it. It's fine. It's
Whoa,
cool.
whoa, whoa. Hold on. Can I throw a positive for Orlando Bloom as Nightwing?
You can.
Orlando Bloom is a real-life crime fighter. If you remember, he punched Justin Bieber in the face. So,
Holy crap. He was curing disease before we knew we had it.
yep. He's not the hero we need, but he's the hero
Yeah.
we deserve.
He's like, I got you vaccine, you believer.
I don't think he could be in it, though, because Orlando Bloom's not allowed to make an appearance in a movie unless he is holding a sword.
Or bow.
Or a bow.
my bow.
Or my axe.
My axe.
I feel like the guy, first off, I love the guy who played Gimli because
Gimli.
Gimli. God, why did I say Grimly?
Man, I
It-
loved Grimlock in Lord of the Rings, especially when he
Grimly.
transformed into the T-Rex.
But Gimli, like that guy, he was also in the Indiana Joneses. Oh, he's the best.
He's good.
Reese Davies, I think, was his name.
Well, he was also in. Shout out to Shannara Chronicles, which got moved to Spike, or no, sorry, FX. I think Spike or FX, same thing. I think they're going to improve that show.
Yeah, either way, it's in better hands. Yeah.
Oh my God, better than MTV's.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we're in a fantasy and a high school. Nope.
John Reese Davies, by the way. John Reese
Thank
Davies.
you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Many props to John Reese Davies. Love that guy.
All right.
Jay, you got anything for the lovely listeners?
I just want to say, don't disappoint me again. I will personally visit each one of you and shake my head in disappointment.
He will.
We do have your IPs.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
All
I
of
can
them.
find you. Big brother. I am Big Brother. And I'm coming for you.
Dad. So if you guys are still interested in the Star Trek Discovery, which is coming out Sunday, we are still doing the Tracking Trek podcast, which you can find us at Tracking Trek Podcast. We've got a couple episodes out there. We've covered all the trailers, and now we're going to get the big ep. We're going to get the crescendo on all the excitement and all the what ifs, what could be's, what might be's, what ain'ts, and why did they's. So if you guys want to hit us up on Twitter, it's at Tracking Trek Pod. Give us your theories. Let me know what's going on, what you're going to do. We had planned to drop a episode about our guesses for what the first episode is about. I think we vetoed that in lieu of the episode. I think that's what me and Thomas have decided. I will let you know when you see the episode come up. But definitely, we're going to cover this first episode that's coming up. Super excited about it, guys. So hopefully it'll be a good one.
Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Landoz, Landoz. That is where you can find the latest stuff that comes out of my brain, as well as the latest postings at buttmunchchips.com, where you can find Game of Thrones Talk, a.k.a. Got Talk, where myself and Hunter East break down and review each episode of Season 7 of HBO's award-winning series Game of Thrones. We are in hiatus with Got Talk because, we don't have a new episode to break down, but keep an eye on buttmunchchips.com. Hunter and I do have a conversation planned for later this week that I'm looking forward to. It's going to be a little bit about the future of video gaming. So if you have some stuff that you want Hunter and I to hit on in this conversation, hit me up at Twitter, twitter.com/Landoz, Landoz. I would throw Hunter's Twitter out there, but he never uses it, so I don't want to waste your time. So for Big Brother Justin Krutsinger and Medium Brother Matt Weaver, I am Little Brother Landon Doan. Thanking you for joining us on another edition of Nerd News Cafe Stir It Up. You've been Nerd News. We've been great. Good night.